Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and please forgive my suntan lines for my watch and my Fitbit. Today we're taking a look at an optic that was actually sent to me by an Amazon seller. Yes, MidTen reached out to me actually quite some time ago, said, hey, we have a lot of stuff that we sell on our Amazon page. Would you like to check any of it out? The one thing that really came to mind was this little 2 MOA RedDot. This thing sells for about 35 bucks, if I can get the box open. And as you can see, it doesn't really come in anything fancy, about what you'd expect for the $35 price point. Now, the gentleman that did reach out to me was very excited to get it over to me, so this way I can get my hands on something very inexpensive for some of you viewers out there. I told him straight up that I give my honest opinion on things, and if it doesn't conform to what he likes, then I don't know what else to tell you. So what does your $35 get you? Well, of course, we have the RedDot and a bikini cover. We do have a high mount. Gotta see if this is lower 1/3 co-witness or whatnot, but you can already see that the end over here is not machined in any way, shape, or form. This looks like it was cut with a saw out of a small piece of extrusion. This side is a little bit finer saw cut. You can still see right there. There are some witness marks from a saw blade, but on this side, either a saw blade or even like a chop saw. What do you get for your $35? So far, this is it. We have one small pick slot right here. It is very, very low profile. And I don't know how well it's going to really fit up to a pick rail, but let's get these Allen cap screws loose, claw loose, so we can put this on top of the rail and see. So there's enough engagement there, but that's not really a whole lot of meat on that. We do have about 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches worth of actual claw down here, which is nice to see, but this is not, great. As far as what else comes in the box, well, you got a little cleaning cloth, a little bit of silica gel. You have our instruction manual, which is as basic as you can ever find any sort of manual to ever be. What does that mean? It means that you should already know all of this stuff. There's absolutely nothing of useful information in there. You do get 2 CR2032 batteries, which is nice. I'm assuming... Actually, I'm not going to assume anything, but there's no name brand on this except for Star Bully. Okay. And it looks to be Japanese characters on the bottom. But, again, I'm no expert in that. But 2 batteries is pretty cool. So basically like 1/10 the price of this goes into 2 batteries. And you get a little Allen key. But I have about 400 of these, so I'll use mine. Anyway, to the optic itself. We have a bikini cover, which is nice to see, because bikini caps are really, really useful tools. They're very lightweight. They protect your glass. They slide on fairly quickly and easily. And when you take them off, they add no weight to the optic or bulk. As far as the optic itself, let's start at the bottom like we always do. You can see we have a small claw here, probably only about 7/16, ½ inch wide, and a single cross bolt going through. That should be fine for most cases. As you can clearly see on this is not spring loaded. But let's open this up and see how it looks on a rail. There we go. A lot of play so far back and forth from the screw. There are no other machined areas in it. On a rail, though, it looks pretty good. It's nice and small. It's got a very small footprint, similar to like a Bushnell TR25. But look how small that window is so far. As far as the main body on this thing, it's got decent anodizing. A couple of marks here and there, but that could have been from my usage of this thing. I've had this for a couple of weeks now, and I have put it through the ringer, but the ringer I put it through is not really going to test this thing to its full limits. But I think I'm going to be getting not too far ahead of myself on this. What I would probably use this for wouldn't be real, like, life or death situation stuff. You get, of course, a windage and an elevation adjustment. We're going to start at the back and work our way forward clearly. Under the caps is 2 O-rings under there. In fact, they're not even O-rings, they're D-rings, which is the proper ring to use for weather sealing because they're flat on both sides. So when you squeeze it down, you have a nice seal. So that's at least pretty cool to see. And it's as basic as you can get in there. They do have at least a little R with an arrow and an up with an arrow, so you can make adjustments on this thing without having to guess. I don't have a little screwdriver handy, so we'll use a razor blade. Actually, as you could hear, very positive clicks. Perfect. I was expecting these to be smooth when I first adjusted these, but no, you have a nice, solid, audible click that actually requires a fair amount of torque to turn. Perfect for a little red dot like this, because under any sort of recoil, even a 22 will recoil enough to bump these out of alignment if there's no tension on them. But this is, quite frankly, very good. Now, one piece of information that was in the book that I didn't mention is one click on this is 1 MOA, so 1 inch at 100 yards, which is a lot. It's a very coarse adjustment. But once you get behind this thing and you start to look at it like I do, you're going to realize that's not the end of the world. Under the battery compartment, you can see we have a standard looking spring. Again, a standard 2032 battery. This one is made in Japan. 3 prongs on the inside. About as standard gets when it comes to very inexpensive battery compartments. Now, as far as the actual controls go, you can see we go from, you already see it's already turning, goes from 0 to 11 with no offs in between. It actually makes a pretty decent sound, but there's a lot of play. There's a lot of slop here. And it pops out fairly quickly and easily, which is not what you want when you're adjusting a red dot on your gun when you have to worry about, things like it getting bumped off, not being able to use it. However, it's really not that bad. But that's basically it. It's a red dot. There's not a whole lot going on here. So what else is there to do other than to mount this up and take a look at it?
Just like I mentioned, we have a slightly small view through this thing. This is currently mounted where it needs to be to have the Primary Arms Gen 4 LER magnifier behind it. It was an overcast day, so it's going to play around with the overall brightness settings a touch, but as you can see, that red dot here on full is still a little on the dim side. This is a $35 optic, and right off the bat, would I put this on my go-to carbine? No. Would I put this on a beater 1022? Maybe, because it's, with the low mount, very low profile, fairly lightweight. I didn't go over the weight, but I'll do that during the final review. And it's just really simple. I cannot vouch for their warranty. I am going to talk with MidTen a little bit more about that because, for $35, what happens if you shoot it once and twice and it falls apart? Are they going to replace it? Are they going to fix it? Or are they going to tell you, we're sorry, we can't help you? It's just one of the many things that we have to wonder about when we're buying something so inexpensive. However, if you don't want to spend $150 on something, or like $120-ish for a Romeo 5, let's say you're buying this for an airsoft gun for yourself or for a young kid, and you just want to get an experience behind a red dot, maybe you're going to hate it, and the last thing you want to do is spend a lot of money and try to wonder, is this right for me or not? That's ultimately the best thing I could say for this optics so far. MidTen, thank you very much for sending this in for review. I will get the full review on this up shortly, but so far it seems to just work well enough for a $35 red dot. That's basically it. With that, thank you all very much for watching, and as always, see you again next time. And a huge thank you to my Patreon providers and my Subscribe Star subscribers. Without you, this truly wouldn't be possible. If you'd like to support my channel but don't want to join either of those, I completely understand. But you could still help by using my affiliate links in the description below, and or like, share, and subscribe as always. Again, thank you very much.